Good morning. Good morning. We're live. Ready to let the people know that we're here so that, how about we go back to that avatar? Yeah, so we can let the people know that we're here. Let YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter know that we are here. Morning, Jamie. How you doing? All right. Well, try again. Morning, Jamie. How you doing?
I am doing just fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was saying I was letting the people know when you come into, you can't automatically come inside.
Nope.
Ah, okay. Well,
I have
that's
zero controls.
zero controls. Control. I ain't got none. Control. Make up the words as we go.
No,
What
that's
we
the
do.
actual song, so they're doing pretty good.
Well, I put the part in the middle about I ain't got none. That
Okay.
that's not the part of the song. That's not a part of the song. Yeah. Okay. It is Thursday. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Where we're in Florida, and there's lots of places here that still don't have power. And where I am, there's very few places that don't have power. Okay, well, Jamie just left. Few places that don't have power, and but I through the night we had a little wind and rain, but we didn't lose power, which was good. I'm in North Florida, though, not in the Central Florida area. The Central Florida area had a lot more sustained things. I talked via text to my dad and my stepmom this morning. They're down in Central Florida. And they said that they still have power, but it's very windy, very rainy. Windy and rainy. Okay. So, okay, Jamie's back. Let's see if we can put him back on the stage. All right. Well, welcome back, sir. Welcome
Well,
back.
thank you. Into
Good
this
morning,
place. All right.
That was one of my favorites. Don't start that one. I'll be singing it all morning. And we probably won't have to worry about a copyright claim on that one. But all righty. So anything good happening? We saw that the CPI data this morning came in a little hotter than they wanted. Prices rose a little more than they think they should have. So there's been a little issue with that. I'm trying to see what SPX is looking like. Nike got an upgrade last night or
I
this
can't see
morning,
your
whichever.
screen.
I'm not sharing it yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, that would be why I haven't shared it. Nike is at a little bit of an upgrade this morning or yesterday afternoon, whenever they do upgrades. I'm trying to get the present screen up. Whenever they do upgrades, Nike got a little bit of an upgrade. So it gapped up and then came down and filled its gap. So now hopefully, well, maybe some people will see that it's kind of up and turned a bit. Let me see if I can make this a little more roomy. We should be sharing the screen. It's taking a minute. And I turned you off yesterday. I didn't mean to turn you on. Okay, it should be sharing. Okay. Everybody can potentially see what's going on there. I don't know if you can or not, but up in the top left is the daily chart. This one is the daily chart up here in the top left. And I hesitate. I really should just switch us over to, let me go there and save myself. That way we can see the full screen. Because when I turn off that Thinkorswim, when I go back, I have to go back and set it all up again every time I want to do 4 screens. It doesn't seem to remember what happened, what had happened. It didn't remember what had happened. So Nike's coming down to the pivot. Perhaps it'll hit the pivot and do a turn, but it's on a nice little upwards ride. This is a 15-minute chart. This was yesterday. Nice little upwards ride. Then it gapped up a little bit this morning, coming down to the pivot, as we see here. All right, what is it telling me is up and running? Oh, Lowe's was added to my gap scanner. I have a gap scanner. Okay. That's what's going on with Nike. I'm gonna look real quick at SPX and I'm gonna give it to you, Jamie, because I still need to put together the atom numbers. I haven't done that yet. Okay, this is SPX. Atom numbers are the most best when the market is open. I put a thing in the chat this morning, into our chat this morning, about 57.67 being the defending area. So we're coming into that zone right now. And if SPX can defend, or if the bulls can defend this zone, the potential is that it will turn and go the other way. We'll see, because it seems to be kind of rolling on through it. But this is a 15-minute chart. You know, you can't look at where it goes is. You got to look at where it closes. I like that one. I like that statement. You can't watch where it goes is. You got to watch where it closes. All righty. I'm canceling myself so that Jamie, you can take over. Welcome to the stage, Jamie Irvin.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So let me get y'all up and running on this screen. It's going to come up. It's going to scare you. It's going to look like you being attacked. That is not my intention. Let's see. I have. Can you see my screen? You might have to stop sharing, maybe. And you're muted. And okay. There we are.
I added you to the screen, to the stage.
Okay. All right. Don't let all of this information right here scare you. We're going to zoom in. Actually, we're going to start with SPX. First of all, buenos dias, everybody.
Buen dia.
You are all well rested. All right. Good morning, Ward and Janae Drew 3778. Is that March 7th, 78? Is that what that's for? All right. Let's take a look at SPX first. See what SPX did, because we know it dropped it. Then we're going, yep, got us somewhat of a drop right here. Closed up here, drop down here for that open. Called a reaction, right? Let's take a look at our information for CNBC. S&P slips from record after data shows sticky inflation, weakening labor market is what they're saying. So everything is down as of right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 0.23%, S&P 500 down 0.38%, NASDAQ down 0.66%, with Russell 2K down 1.14%. The VIX is up 2.16%. It is at 21.
The VIX is up.
That's 31. All right. So there's plenty of stuff going on. Europe mostly down. FTSE Milano is the only one up, 0.29%. Asia is all green, though. All green. They are Asia Pacific markets gain ahead of U.S. inflation data. China stocks resume rally. For today, this morning, before open, Tilray, Delta, Domino's Pizza, Thera Technologies, and Neogen all reported after closed air test systems, which does we'll say electronic components. Tomorrow morning before open, we got JP Morgan Chase and Company, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Bank of New York, I believe it's Bank of New York Mellon, maybe, Fastenal, and Bank 7. They're stepping up to the plate with the banks. and the hedge fund type joints. So that is something to be aware of, especially if you trade XLF, the sector, financial sector. Um, that's one to pay attention to for sure on that one. Let's look at our calendar. We got the core CPI month over month, CPI month over month, and the CPI year over year, all red folders with unemployment claims. The first three were better than projected, and CPI year over year was not, was slightly higher than what they would have wanted. 231K is what the forecast was, and actual was 258. Not always good for the economy. We got FOMC member Cook speaking 9:15, already done. 10:30, Barkin is speaking. Barkin is barking again. We got that's a yellow folder. Cook was a yellow folder. The natural gas storage, yellow folder. FOMC member Williams speaks at 11. That's a yellow folder. And then at 101, we have another yellow folder, which is the 30-year bond auction.
I wonder why they pick 101. Like, why? What is that time? Why not 1 o'clock?
Yeah, them off numbers make no sense to me. That makes no sense. For investing.com.
.com.
We got we had continuing jobless claims. That was 2 stars over here. All right, higher than projected, as was the other one. 2 stars for the core CPI year over year for September. 3 stars for the core CPI month over month for September, and then 1 star for the core CPI index for September. All better than projected. 3 stars for the CPI month over month for September, and the CPI year over year for September. Of course, still better than what was forecast. CPI index, NSA September and SA September. The NSA was better than projected, and the SA was just neutral impact. CPI NSA month over month for September, also neutral. Initial jobless claims, 3 stars over here. That was lower than what was forecast. The CPI indexes and the NSA, SA, and NSA for September and the month over month were all 1 stars. Over here, jobless claims 4-week average was 1 star, neutral impact. The real earnings month over month for September was also neutral impact, 1 star. The central bank reserves was 1. Actually, no, that's not us. Fed Governor Cook speaking was 1 star over here. Barkin speaking over here was 1 star. Natural gas storage over here, 1 star, which I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. Cleveland CPI month over month for September, 1 star. Now over here, William speaking is 2 stars. Everybody on the other one came up as just a yellow folder that I can recall. 4 and 8 week bill auction is 1 star over here, but the 30-year bond auction is 3 stars, and this is happening at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. The 4 and 8 week bill auctions is 11:30, but this 3-star bond auction is 1 o'clock. The federal budget balance for September is 2 o'clock. That is 2 stars. And the Fed's balance sheet is 4:30. That is 2 stars. And the reserve balances with Federal Reserve banks is 4:30. That is 1 star. So we do have a couple 3-star events. 11 o'clock is 2 star over here with William speaking. So we still got a couple things sprinkled in that may or may not be that big of a deal. But I will say it's interesting to see a yellow folder on one side and then 2 or 3 stars on the other side. Normally those are in relatively similar alignment. So here's what happened this morning on FTX. This is the fit. That's not me. This is the 15-minute chart. And this is our first candle. And SPX is, in fact, trying to break out of the candle. It is trying to push its way out. There was a gap this morning. We're going to put this, we'll put this up here and put that about right there. So this is the gap that it is probably going to be trying to push its way back into. All right. So there has not been any movement in terms of breaking out of the gap this morning. It has tried to on both sides, but this area above it is providing some resistance for SPX. Let's take a look at SPY. It looks similar, but it's not exact. For those of you SPY fans out there, same
Lots of
deal.
liquidity. I mean, SPY has lots of liquidity and volume. It's just you gotta. It's a rare bird. You got to fight it because that's a bird out there.
What are we talking about?
Talking about SPY.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
SPY. You said people who trade SPY. There's opportunity, but SPY is a unique beast.
Oh no, I was just saying I look at it because I know other people do, even though it's different from SPX. It is at its new high. It is at a high, people. Matter of fact, we can put this line right here because it based at this line for a few days. This is where it is retracing to. So once it gapped up back here, it has tapped this line a couple times. This is a buyer's gap. In case anybody cared, we're gonna put that on. This is daily, so we'll say daily gap. And then what is you over there doing?
You hear me clicking?
Man, I'm like, are you
I'm
attacking
moving.
this?
No, I'm moving my mouse, and that's why I put it on mute a lot of times because it does that. It makes all
Sound like
that
you are
noise.
over there attacking that mouse. Jesus, what do you do to you?
What do you do to you?
My goodness.
I'm moving it around, and my microphone is sensitive.
All right, so this is that gap right here. And I have the arrow pointing up because that's the direction that the gap occurred. So I'm acknowledging that this is the day gap on the day chart. That's D gap is day gap for the day chart, and the arrow pointing up is the direction. So right here is where it looks like it is retesting. So, you know, it's at this high point. It is at its high. So this is where we got to watch and see what's about to go down. Because believe me, something is finna go down. Either it's going to keep trying to move its way up once it has broken past its high. To me, it looks like it's trying to retest. So that is something that we need to watch. The close for yesterday was 577. The open for today was 575. So there's a $2 change right there. And it looks like it's trying to push up through that. So you do have a similar looking chart as of right now as it relates to SPY and SPX. Sometimes they don't look exact, but that is sometimes the way it goes. To be consistent, we're going to put this here and to put this here. We can mark where this gap is occurring. Obviously, our listeners over there stacking plenty money.
I don't know about that. More like closing.
I hear bling, 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 bling.
No, that other thing you hear is an indicator.
Oh,
I have a gap up scanner, and as the things are added to my gap scanner, it's not gap up, it's gap down or gap up. But as stock is added to the scanner, it pops up and says, "Hey, we added something else."
I'm finna say you got a casino going over there.
Yeah, no, no, do not get excited.
Slot machine supreme.
Do not get excited.
All right, we're gonna look at Russell 2K. So this is the 15-minute chart on Russell. Russell tried to break out. So this is a gap that was actually this gap was, can bring this down some. Actually move this over and move this up.
Okay.
So here's the gap down from yesterday. Looks like that. This gap down, and this is where we're at. It actually, take this one out because it failed that one, went right through it. And now it has bounced off the went down past the low, and looks like it's retracing and trying to move its way on up. So technically, this one also has not failed, or shall I say, broken out past its 15-minute zone either. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Right? It is going to be worth watching.
You was doing a bunch of stuff yesterday. Was that all those were like, I saw like 5 different trades. He was like a madman yesterday. What's up?
That's what the defense was giving me.
That's what the who was giving you?
The defense was giving me.
Oh, you were defending?
No, that's a sports phrase. That's what was available, so I was taking what was available.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know that as a sports phrase, but okay.
Yeah. When you are offense, you can either force it or you can wait to see what the defense is gonna give you. And that's what I saw, so that's what I was doing.
Okay. You was waiting for what they gave you and you was running with it. I saw you running the
Mhm.
ball. Running the ball.
Yeah, it doesn't always move like that. Was probably like right here in this time frame where it was moving. So I was like, well, if y'all gonna keep moving, let me move with you.
All right, don't move without me.
So 9:30. So we are at about 35 minutes out. No breakout as of right now. I'm looking for any tickers. I don't see any tickers.
I was just asking everybody what they were in or what they were looking at. I actually am still in XOP. I'm in DPS, which I didn't know what that was at the time I was in, but DPS, where's my screen?
Oh, and that's what I asked you. Was you in Domino's Pizza? DPS is something else.
Gotcha. Yeah, DPS, not Domino's Pizza. Is that what I'm in? No, I'm in DPST. There we go. Put me something else on there. DPST.
Oh, regional
and I'm on Dale. DPST is actually ready to close. And I'm in MU. Oh, and I'm in on. Those are all my credit spreads. XOP, which I did DPST and Dale on Friday. I think I might have done XOP the first thing Monday morning. Well, non-collie, according to the elite options trader, he says it could go on up to 5,800. Whatever that message said, I put in the chat that he said it could go up to 5,800. I think he said, yeah, he didn't say when. Just said if SPX can defend 57.67, which it did, we can see a reversal back higher to 5,800. I'd consider calls above 57.67. XOP. Oh, that's oil. Okay. I know these things when I enter, but after I enter,
no, you don't sound confident at all.
After I enter, I'm like, oh, what was that again?
You don't sound confident at all.
Like, what was that again? The DPST is actually looking like it's ready. It's at 74% profit at this point overall as an iron. All these are iron condors. So it's at 70% ready. I mean, it's ready to close the iron condor. I did not do my overnight triple Q, yada, yada. I didn't do those overnight because I couldn't fool up with CPI this morning. My Dale call credit spread is in the money though, so I have to watch that one. The on that's what the symbol is you keep hearing. It has been added to the gap list. MU is at 42%, so it's about ready to close. On is another one that is 69. It gapped down. I gotta watch that. And then XOP.
So this is XOP. It is really bouncing off of a chair right now. Is what I'm seeing. It bounced off a chair and it's heading up towards a gap. So there's some nice resistance sitting right there.
So my top, let me see, my trade, my XOP. The screen don't give enough room. XOP, I have 140 on the call side. 140 for the call credit spread and 134.5 on the put. Actually, the put credit spread part is actually looks like it's ready to, it's closing. That half of it is closing. And remember, you can always close your credit spreads on pieces, right? You don't have to close them all the whole iron condor at one time. You can close half, the put credit spread or the call credit spread side. You can close them in half cease. Okay.
By half cease, she's not saying one leg. She's saying one vertical.
Yes. I'm saying you can close the put credit spread or the put credit spread separate. You don't have to close the whole iron condor together.
Right. But I'm just saying sometimes some people are usually asking about closing one leg of the vertical. So I'm just making sure we understand that it's the
that's not what I'm saying.
Speaking of one vertical. So don't be up in there trying to blame folks for. I thought you said I was supposed to be closed. Nope.
And you can close one leg. It's just you need to be careful when you do that. You can, yeah.
You saying don't, but I'm saying that's not what was being said then.
That's not what I'm saying, but you can close it just like that.
Don't misinterpret the word. Amen.
You can close. Amen.
So this is what I'm seeing for XOP. So yeah, I
what's
can see
DGP? What's DGP?
Day gap. I explained that earlier, ma'am.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. Our student was not paying attention in class.
So why okay, go ahead. I was gonna ask why DGP, but
Day gap, just because shorthand, it don't make sense to type it all out.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. You're right. It's your chart. It's your chart. Do what you want to write.
On the chart. I don't need to keep extra words on it.
It's your chart.
I used to have full sentences on this bad boy.
Write what you want to write.
Not as much anymore. So D gap, 15 GP will be for 15-minute gap, or sometimes it'll be just 15G, but just quick shorthand. This is why I know what the reference points are. But yeah, I can see why this would be your expiration was for Friday. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I was looking at that, I mean, this still would be a decent iron condor.
Oh yeah, and the premiums are decent. XOP had pretty good premiums.
Yeah, if I was looking at the one spread, for sure. If I was looking at this right here, let's see here. Yeah. If you did our list is 77% zone.
Yeah.
That's 70, that's 17, 16, 17 cent. That's straight.
That's straight on one side, bruh.
Yeah. On the one spread. I probably would do 79 up here, but still 20 cent. Oh man, yeah, you straight. That's 26. This is what is this? Oh, so that's right. It switches up at some point. But at 2.5, depending on what's happening, which is not a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of.
You know, we've gotten more comfortable with our 2.5s. I'd like to speak on the behalf of our community as well, that
Oh,
we've gotten more comfortable with our 2.5s because we see that the premiums are good there and we can get good returns. And if we're going to close at the 50%, we can still do, we can still make decent money and still be able to close early and still be okay.
yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah. I was always into the 2.5 just because of the better premiums. I mean,
Mhm.
so yeah, I can definitely agree with that. This is
Mhm.
the weekly chart. We was looking at Lilly. This is the weekly chart for Lilly. These are the zones that we set up on the weekly chart. It has room to run right now. So they're still worth taking a look at, in my opinion. It is bouncing off this gap that was created back here in September. So it is basing at around this gap. Um, so that is something to keep in mind. But Lily has some decent premiums.
Yeah, Lily has had decent premium. Did you enter yesterday?
I
We
gotta
did
check
go
and
back
see.
to 70%, Tanya. That's where we are, 70%.
Let me see what I did. I'm at 60%.
Oh, okay. Did you enter Lily yesterday?
I thought I did. Let me check. Sure enough,
Mm,
it looks like one side got filled. This was supposed to close this side. Why is my stop still open?
I told you that it'll do that. You got it set, but it'll close one side and the other side still be going.
They ain't supposed to do that. Stop
Yep.
supposed to. So yeah, that was a successful trade for Lily. Told y'all she was fine as hell. I told y'all yesterday. What I tell y'all? I told you. I told you that girl bad. Woo!
You
Come on
so
here.
dumb.
Come
So
on
dumb.
here.
80% is fine, Tanya. It's really a preference. 70-80% is a preference. I wouldn't try to push too much past 80 because 80-85% really is the best statistically. Anywhere below that is going to give you better statistics. So that would be fine. Yeah, so just make sure though that if you've got 80% on your profit taking, that you've got a plan for your stop loss making, or stop loss closing, right? So if you're going to ride till 80% on the profit side, make sure that you've got a plan in place for what is your stop loss going to be. And for me, I've still put it in as like that extra that 1.5. So if I take in $50 in premiums, I'm going to close it if it gets up to 75. That's for me. And then I'm going to ride it to 70 or 80% as well. So the key is not necessarily where we're going to take profit as much as it is where you're going to stop the bleeding if there is some bleeding that needs stopping, right? Definitely want to make sure that you're doing that as well. Okay.
Right, Alyssa,
All
here's a
kind of stuff
question.
added to are we good to go?
So
Oh,
here's the
go ahead. What were you
question.
going to ask?
So SPX is now broken out.
Okay.
Now the question is, for those who are trading the breakout, do they try to get in now or do they wait?
If you're trading it as a it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to do a PDT hack, it would be better if you had gotten it at the break or got a good, which actually you're at a good place because it broke right. Y'all can't see my mouse, I know, but it broke right around that top line there. So it would have been better if you would have been able to get in the middle of that big green candle. That would have been good. But if you're doing put credit spreads, you're still fine. It's just you got to watch to see if you're going to be able to do your PDT hack. But a put credit spread underneath, this the low of this, or this opening range breakout underneath what 57.70. Now you're going to have, it's 57.85, so the premiums may not be all that great, but 57.70, 57.65 might be a decent place to go find premiums.
So you're not concerned about this resistance here?
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely would want to.
91. It's
Yeah,
only
I mean,
$5, but
yeah, you would, but you still, I mean, if you're just you're going to enter one side at a time, and the first side has to go with momentum. So your momentum is going upwards right now.
Mm-hmm. All righty, folks. Let's see what we got. We got 57.60 for our listener crowd and 57.55 for the Jamie crowd.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
Come on now. Don't act like you don't be trying to get close all snuggled up.
No, I do. I'm a 30%er because I understand the odds. I'm taking
All
the odds
cuddled up with
of,
current price on the
yeah.
motorcycle, popping willies. You know
Okay,
what
it's
I'm trying
pulling
to say.
back now. So you see the chart is it's gonna pull back hopefully to that to the top of that opening range. And if it bounces off of there, then that's gonna be a good entry too.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me if it bounces in between here for a little bit, but I
Okay,
figured
yeah.
the reaction from these buyers was going to be significant off of this gap down. But all right. So you ready for Mancini?
Mills.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
Okay. Extremely muted CPI reaction, and so far the bulls have been able to defend yesterday's 2-week bull flag breakout. 5740 was a flag breakout point with 5791 target yesterday in SPX and flagging out above. 5773 must reclaim to see 5785, then dip, next leg up. 5760. If 5760 fails now, then we sail to 5740. 5760 looks like it may be, what's the current price on SPX?
57.79.
Okay, so we got a little bit of room. The gap between ES and SPX is currently 55 points. XSP, if you're trading that, you got 579. Call credit spread 574. Put credit spread if you're trading those. Okay, got some videos that were just uploaded. The best trade entry. You want to know where is the best place for you to enter. You do all your research. You're all ready to go. You're like, I'm good. I'm ready. Where do I enter? Where Jamie was just asking, what would be a good entry? You want to try to enter off of support or enter off of resistance. Even if you're doing it as a buyer or a seller, you want to let support and resistance be your entry, or rejection of something be your entry place as best you can. That kind of means you're going to have to wait until it actually does that. You got to wait and watch. And that's the hardest part. I attest is the hardest part to all of this is waiting and watching to make sure it does what it's supposed to do. That's the hardest part. Indeed, the hardest part. Okay, you can go over there onto my channel and watch that video, the best trade entry. Here's our list for the week. We're looking for tomorrow. We're going to close up tomorrow. A bunch of these basically are going to close tomorrow. That one side of my DPST just closed. But I want you to look at the different, I'm gonna go to that screen here in a minute, but I want you to look at some different things. If you're interested today, that will close tomorrow. That means you're close proximity. You're not putting your collateral up, but so long. Do that maybe around or before 12 noon so you can get decent premiums and you got enough room for it to move about a little bit. And then, leverage your collateral and collect your premiums all and immediately. You collect your premiums immediately when you do that, and then you can close those out tomorrow. Free trade journal where you can keep track of all the things that you're watching and what did you actually do. That link, I don't know if it's in the comments now, but if you have a request for it, please send me a message or put it in the comments and I will make sure it gets linked. E2T membership, wide open, wide open. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about the next program that's going to be coming inside of our membership, and definitely stay tuned. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Stay tuned. Membership, go to educatortotrader.com. You can join us. We're a community of primarily option sellers, but we're definitely leaning in a lot more heavily now into technical analysis because, doing our strategies is pretty straightforward. But we also want to know that we're selecting the right strikes, selecting the right stock. How are we managing these things after we've got them going? Credit spreads in itself it can be a very semi-passive way to trade. But if we select strikes wrong or our timing's off, those kind of things can kind of cause us issues, or we don't have a good stop loss plan in place. Those are the things that we really work with and work on inside of our community. All righty. Jamie, did you have anything else you wanted to share?
Nope. Nothing else. Don't forget about our upcoming 2 stars and 3 stars in our investing.com list.
We have a bond auction at 1, you said?
That sounds right. I don't have it pulled up right now, but
I think you said 1 o'clock for the bond auction. All righty. There's our recent release book. When do we use credit spreads and debit spreads? 10% profits every single day. On SPX, how do we use SPX? Jamie was just talking about the breakout. How do we play that breakout? How do we trade? I don't like the word play when we're talking stocks. How do we trade that breakout every single day in order to make sure that we can pull in 10 to 15, 20% in profits? There's a strategy to run this, whether in the morning, in the noonday, in the evening. You can run it in the afternoon even. So you just need to have a strategy that helps you to do that. Y'all know I will break into a song in a minute. In a minute. Yes. All righty. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts grow more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. Always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war and our fingers to fight. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. All right, y'all continue to pray for the people who were in the line of the storm, who now have to deal with the repercussions of the storm and all that happened here. I know along our Florida East Coast, there is flooding and all those things, and they're looking for the high tide to come back and maybe have some more surges. Along the West Coast, there was lots of flooding and all the issues. You can watch the news and see all the stuff that's going on. At this point, there's not much going on with me personally, right? We didn't lose power. Everything is going okay at this point. It can change at any minute because the ground is very wet. Anytime the ground is very wet, stuff starts to lean with it, rock with it, roll with it, rock with it. Yeah, and we don't want our power lines doing no leaning and rocking. No. Okay. So y'all continue to keep those people in your prayers, and you stay green. Let's stay green. Let's get this money, right? And let's make sure that we have enough for us, enough to be a blessing, and that we are a blessing to others. Thank you, Ward said he's praying for the Florida essential workers, because we know that the people who are working are out there doing what they need to be doing. All right. All righty, everybody. We will see you in the market.
Hasta la vista.
Bye, everyone. Hasta la vista. Goodbye, everybody.